In the second part, we are going to look at the rotation of this shape we have developed with GraphMapper. We are using the native GraphMapper, but we are actually going to do rich GraphMapper as well to have more control over these shapes or the behavior of the shape. I'm going to turn off the loft for now and just look at these profiles here so that we can get kind of an overall idea about how the rotation is working. So we actually don't need to do much here. We already have the right relationships built. All I need to do is make a copy of this GraphMapper here, increase this value to be 90, and this is going to be our rotation. And rather than using this, we can actually use rich GraphMapper here. So if you type in rich GraphMapper, this is a tool that I downloaded from Food for Rhino, and it basically allows for more advanced controls of graphs. So I'm going to supply this as the vertex. We don't need to change the source domain or the target domain. And if you right click here and define a new graph type, I'm going to work with Bezier 2. So this gives me already more control over the behavior of the graph, that we can have more interesting shapes coming out of this parametric script. So I'm going to multiply this with the full rotation, and what I want to do is rotate the plane. So we type in rotate plane, and I want to rotate the XY planes with this coefficient. But be careful here, because this plane rotation actually requires radians, but here I'm defining 90 degrees. So we need to convert that, and if you right click here, choose degrees, now these rotations will operate like degrees. So I'm going to replace the circle, and it might be hard to notice, but this shape is actually now twisting as well. So this graph is controlling how much we want to rotate each profile. So we want to actually generate a shape that has these horizontal tangents and have this sort of in-between tangency that creates kind of a twist in the middle. And this will actually give us more control over the type of behavior we want to have. And we can also try other shapes, but for now I think this would be okay to look at the rotation. And if you look at the loft, now this is how the outcome of the shape is. So you can see the difference. So the ending and the beginning tangents are kind of working fine, but the in-between is kind of having this twist. And if you want to soften this out a bit, we can actually do change this parameter here. So let's make it 60 and look at this again, bake it again. So this is the 60 version. If you want it to be more drastic, we can actually increase it, but I want to use the GraphMapper for a bunch of things, also control the profile as well. So we need to go, we need to look at how to build this in steps. So I'm going to disable the final loft and look at these circles here. So let's place a new loft here. And let's first replace this scale function here with our new GraphMapper. And what I want to do is control the profile a bit better so that we can maybe look at other types of shapes. So this is directly controlling the outcome of the outline. So you can see that this is almost like looking like a candle holder, but it's giving me some nice control over how we want this parametric shape. So let's say we want to work with something like this. The grooves here are also shrinking because the scale of the radius is also shrinking, but this is kind of I would say getting there. Maybe we decrease this rotation here a bit more. And if you're happy with the behavior of this, then you can also enable the final loft here and then look at the final shape. So I got something like this, which looks quite interesting actually. Now the last thing I want to do is controlling the scale behavior. So you can see here, for instance, we have a constant factor here that scales down this groove inward. So what if we also want to control this using Graph Mapper? How can we achieve that? So keep in mind that we grafted the curve here, and we are having 12 different sections, and this value is kind of a unitary value for all of those. So we can also create a new Graph Mapper here that goes from 0 to 1 and use this as kind of a scaling ratio. What do I mean by that? For instance, what if we want to have grooves here at the bottom, but we want it to be as smooth as possible towards the top to complement this shape? So I can actually achieve that by making another copy of this Graph Mapper. So what do we want? We want actually a higher value in the beginning, right? In the lower sections, we want a value that is closer to 0.85, but the higher the value, or the higher the section, we want it to be as low as possible, or maybe even 0. So I need to create some sort of mapping here that kind of mirrors this. So I want it to have kind of almost close to 0 at the bottom, and maybe some sort of twist here like this. I'm going to give it a shot and see what we come up with. But basically we can also try this sort of interpolated graphs, like 5-point graphs, if you want to create kind of a 0 or nulled version towards the top and more kind of a drop to that, right? So this is not controlling as much the deviations of how we want to interpolate the data, but I think this could give us kind of a satisfactory result looking at this shape, and we will be able to control or compare both of them anyways. Now this output is giving me these values, but you can notice something here, which is basically these values are not graphed. So if I connect them to a number container, they're in a single list. I'm actually going to increase this a bit more. Right click here and graph this so that they will be supplied to each of these sublists. So you can see that our data here is graphed. Now if I supply this in here, now we get some behavior. I think the zero scale, it doesn't like the 0 scale because it's kind of giving me an error. So what we could do here is right click here, or open up the graph function and just disable this to be kind of a nominal value. Maybe it doesn't like 0, but we can give it to be, I mean, y0, we can make it 0.1 and hit OK. Let's see, this is cannot scale with factor 0. Yeah, we need to make sure that this doesn't actually have 0 values in it. So let's fix this issue quickly. So it's the last one that is causing me an issue. It didn't actually take in this y0 to be 0.1. Now this should be okay, I guess. Well, it's still giving me 0. So if I bump this up a bit, I guess this is doing it fine. But one issue here is, I guess I kind of miscalculated 0.85. This part is controlling the bottom part of the behavior, so we want it to be kind of here. Actually, we want this to be a bit higher, so let's actually move this up so we can kind of flatten out the geometry. We can even make it as 1. And I can also soften this transition like this. This is kind of a nice way of controlling how we want to interpolate the beginning and end of the shape. And if you don't want this much, this many grooves, you can also decrease the number of points on the surface. So for instance, if I make it 30, then we will have less grooves on the parametric shape. And I'm going to bake this, and let's see what we have. So this is the kind of shape that I got. So as you can see here, we are getting kind of a nice, this is kind of too deep, I would say. Maybe we can reduce it a bit more. I guess we could increase this part here. You can also keep the graph as is and basically change the targets here. For instance, we don't want the mapping in the y direction between 0 and 1. Maybe we want it to be between 0.7 and 1, right? So that will also override. It doesn't like this, but probably it's because of the input. So source domain and target domain. So let's actually place in a construct domain here. Construct domain, and we want it to go from 0.7 to 1. I guess because we don't change this, it doesn't take into effect. So there you have it. So this can control how much groove we want at the bottom. I'm going to keep it at 0.3, actually 0.4, and we can have a bit more in the beginning, then kind of flatten out, then a bit more. So kind of think this would give us a kind of a nice shape. Let's see what we get. So they may not look too different, but here the grooves are a bit more deeper. And if you're not happy with this, you can also try another type of shape. Let's actually create one more so that we can play around with this. Let's create a new shape. I'm going to turn off this loft. First, look at the parametric profile. We already have a rotation. I guess we can try a different type of shape, maybe kind of something like this. So that's directly controlling the behavior, and we can have the kind of flattened version in the middle. Let's actually put this here to the middle and put the grooves towards the top and the bottom. So maybe something like this. Right, so let's see what we're going to get. So maybe it's smoother at the bottom and then grooved on top. So this is a really nice tool that gives you kind of sharp controls over the shape. And if you don't like the outcome, you can always go back and re-edit these parameters and see what you can generate, right? So there is no limitation to how you want to build these shapes. You can control the surface grooves, rotation, the scale, the profile, and I think this rich graph mapper adds some more control over this, which is a nice tool. So I hope you like this tutorial. I myself had all the fun building this with this new rich graph mapper tool. So if you like this video, please consider subscribing to the channel. I upload videos on parametric design and scripting. So I know most of you might be interested in learning these sorts of tools. And if you want to learn any other things, you can write in the comments below. And thank you for your support, and I'll see you guys next time with another tutorial. Take care.